What's up, guys? An update on the price of Bitcoin, but a little bit later in the end of the video. Today we will look at the major picture, namely I will cover this thread by Coiner Yadox and his idea about the 25 reasons to be macro bullish on the price of Bitcoin, and at the same time we will look at the counter arguments with another thread, and I will show you what are those. So let's see. First of all, he is saying that, well, monthly we have the 21 EMA served as a support here. Also, we are above 10 monthly EMA, and this is usually a bullish signal. And the opponents say that, well, it basically very similar as well to the situation 2014, and after that we dropped 75%. So yeah, there are some exceptions to this rule. So, and actually that guy will refer to this 2014 case many times during this thread. And actually this is a very nice showcase of the kind of false signal. Another thing is that on the Bollinger Band side we have a monthly very nice close above the baseline, and it is close to the upper band as well, which is again bullish. And that guy said, well, yeah, kind of, but again there were similar things in June 2019 and December 2017 and didn't help us from dropping even lower. Okay, another EMA 21 weekly, also historically support and a bull trend, and vice versa. And yeah, pretty much the same argument. Yeah, 2014 we were above it and price dumped after that. The next thing is that the RSI is in the bullish zone above 55, and I must say that this thread was on February 3rd, so now it is February 13th, and of course we are in even a more bullish case, in bullish condition right now. So yeah, RSI is above 55. It's statistically in the kind of a bullish trend, bullish zone, but surely you can guess already. Yeah, 2014 it was pretty much the same. So here is an exception. And another thing is the MACD bullish cross on a weekly time frame. Many times bullish and bearish crosses were a very nice signal for the price reversal. Here it comes, 2014, 2018, some exceptions. Another thing is that we can kind of draw the channel here, kind of a zone with the support, resistance, and we're above the middle zone of this area and middle line of this area, and approaching the upper area, upper resistance. Well, the counter argument here is that it is kind of subjective, well, in the way you draw it, so maybe it's not exactly as bullish as you might want to see that to be bullish. Another thing, of course, this is hard to argue. This is the higher low, especially right now on a weekly time frame we are above the previous low. Another argument is that on a weekly time frame we have a higher high. Well, now it is a higher high. Well, actually it is a kind of a bullish, usually bullish sign when we have a higher high, higher low. So this is a kind of signature of the trend, of the bullish trend. And well, if you'll be very picky, then you can find some cases when it didn't work out. Another thing is that Litecoin kind of preceding, well, it shows very similar price action as Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is following Litecoin. Many people say that, and well, yeah, this is true. This is the there is no counter argument against that, but Litecoin actually dropped 75% before making a higher high. So if Bitcoin will do the same thing, well, it goes to $3,500. And another one again about the moving average, 200 days simple moving average, we are above it, usually a good indicator of a bear and bull. And well, yeah, you can find the same thing when we had this rise on the Chinese pump news, and after that we dropped from $10,000 to $6,500. The thing is with moving average is that you usually would like to see some golden crosses and death crosses. Here we have daily 50 and 200 EMAs golden cross, many cases of confirmation of this cross to be a nice signal, also a bearish cross, death cross as well. But yeah, you can go to 2014, 18th and find some exceptions. Another thing is weekly goopy is a bull trend, daily isn't a bull trend, and this guy is saying that, well, yeah, kind of, but let's say here we are in a bull trend, but after that we dropped 50% and still remain bullish. Is it a bull market or not? It's hard to say. In a daily, of course, it's really hard to count as a long-term signal, so many flips of the signal here and there, especially in, let's say, again 2014. Fibonacci retracement, we are above 61.8, which is a kind of a level which Bitcoin likes to play with, and well, historically is a strong level for reversals, for bounces, and yeah, it is kind of so, but again, you can find some cases when it didn't play out. You see that basically it's not that many of those though. Another thing is that here is a, well, you can draw this as a bull flag with a target around $18,000. Well, in my personal opinion, although this guy is saying that, yeah, this is a reasonable argument, I would say that the scale of this flag isn't that great. You'd like it to be not that extended to the downside, so maybe like a half of this size is better, but we are too overextended down, so it's not the perfect bullish pattern. Well, not perfect pattern actually. Another thing is the Ichimoku cloud. We are above some signal lines, and actually this guy actually, well, he didn't mention this Ichimoku point, but from my side, I must say that, well, again, in my personal opinion, it's not the best indicator for the price action of Bitcoin, and it's often kind of lagging. It is better performed on the traditional markets, and maybe on Bitcoin it's just better to be, well, it should be set up in a specific way. I don't have the setup, and I didn't really spend time doing that, so I don't know, maybe it still is a valid argument, valid point. Of course, the thing which, again, we talked about this is Wyckoff accumulation at the area of $7,000, like $6,500, $7,500, and after that we rose quite a lot, so it kind of confirmed that is the Wyckoff accumulation, and yeah, this is again fair enough, and at the same time, just kind of adding to that is that although there was an accumulation, maybe we are already in the distribution zone, which means that we might have a drop anytime soon after the distribution. And another thing is the stock absorption, kind of similarity to the price action of Bitcoin right now, and well, again, this is more or less valid from James' point of view, although a little bit difference in volume, but you know, with volume for crypto, with all of the spoofing, wash trading, and OTC, it's really hard to follow about the volume arguments. Halvening, or halving, whatever you like to call it, is happening soon, so holders coins is increasing, which don't move for a long time. Well, from his opinion, it's actually not statistically proven. There was only 2 occasions of this fact, and how it will perform in the third one, nobody knows. Although, of course, there is some background from the fundamental point of view, but still, yeah, it's not clear. Maybe it's already priced in, so it's not exactly a fair argument again. The thing is that the number of the wallets with the number of Bitcoin above 1,000 is growing recently, meaning that huge players, huge investors are accumulating and they don't sell. This guy is saying that, well, it doesn't necessarily mean to be bullish, because this is what happens in markets. Smart money takes dumb money to the woodshed. So basically, like, it is not exactly what you might expect for the rally when everybody gets profits on the way up. Yeah, this is very interesting. Hash ribbons, we covered this on the channel, and this is a moving average of the hash rate. We were in the capitulations here, and before as well, and after that, when we see the exit from this capitulation area, the price usually goes up, so we are having this move as well. And yeah, this is historically performed very well, so there is no contradiction about that. this is a little bit of the on-chain MVRV showing the bullish setup, similar to what we had before. This guy is saying, well, it depends on how you draw those trend lines, so if you'll do it different ways, then it's not that clear anymore. Another thing, stock to flow model, which showed itself to be very reasonable in a long-term price action, and according to this model we are about to go much higher. Again, we covered this many times. Well, there is indeed a controversy about this model, saying that it's not exactly correct. There are some assumptions which might not be true, and like, for example, the demand is either constant or linearly growing for Bitcoin, which again, it's impossible to have this on the market for infinite amount of time. And finally, what we have is we have this logarithmic timescale non-linear regression curve here, and this is for like serving as support and resistance for a very long time. And again, we are about to test. Well, we tested the bottom line here, meaning that probably we will go higher at this point. But yeah, as usual, we might find this not exactly statistically correct, because this these lines are getting changed over the time, and if you will change it a little bit here, then it will be very different at this area, so maybe much lower. The point here is this Coineriatics saying that, well, it's not necessarily to be the fact that all of those arguments are strong by themselves, like separately, but the confluence of them, the kind of the fact that they are appearing at the same time, means that they are supporting each other, and probably we are indeed in the bull market because of that. And of course, well, you shall decide what to think about that. Maybe some arguments you'd think that they are very valid, some of them are not. As usual, what I'm saying is just my personal opinion, not a financial advice, and please judge on your own. So far, that is it about the global perspective. Let's look at the price of Bitcoin very quick. So what we see here is that we tested $10,500, just basically as I pointed out in the previous video, that we might have a little bit of the pullback from this zone. But in fact, I was saying that we will do that when we were here, so I didn't think that we'll have that of the drop after that. Although it wasn't that big, we consolidated. We actually had a pullback from this previous zone of the resistance. It became a zone of support, and again, even right now we have the same thing. So we had this resistance zone here, now we have a support zone, and what it basically means that Bitcoin is continuing to do the same thing over and over again, just as it made it before. So it's still the same channel, the same rising trend, nothing changed. And moreover, from my point of view, when I was saying that the price will reach $10,500, and maybe it would be the point for the pullback, at least like high chance that it will happen, but it would be more possible to see that if we wouldn't see that dump. We did, so we had like a lot of a cooling down, and then after that we continue to rise. So actually this dump is not exactly what you would expect to see. Probably, well, I mean, I would expect a little bit higher before the dump, but yeah, it happened. And now the main point is whether we will see this dump continuing, or this is again just a temporal shakeout. From the technical analysis point of view, I would say that we're in the same channel. Nothing changed. We're drawing the same patterns over and over again, and we are finding support on the moving averages, on the previous support, previous resistance zone. So it looks very bullish, very organic. But again, this is still a rising channel, and those tend to be broken to the downside eventually. Of course, this is a kind of a strong bull trend, so I would expect that the correction will happen after we'll see the acceleration. So instead of going directly to the downside, it would be more reasonable to expect it to move higher, much higher, something like similar to what we had, for example, in this area or in the end of 2017. So before that, we are able to go go higher for a very long time. But still, I think the rise is kind of exhausting, so maybe exhausted. So I think that we might go to something like $11,000, maybe $12,000. But very soon, I would say that we will reach the point from which we will have the reasonable correction. Maybe we already started to see that, but again, not yet confirmed. We still have a chance to continue the growth and to pump it much higher, and then only after that to drop to have this like 20-30% correction or whatever you can expect, like similar to what we had in 2017 or 2016. Well, in any case, guys, I will keep you updated. Much more details, much more technical setups like divergences, steady sequentials, supports, resistance zones, and many other things, indicators on Twitter and Telegram. Go check it out. Much more frequent than videos and in much greater detail. And here is just the major picture. So anyway, I hope that it was useful, and yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and see you next video. Goodbye.